everyone, Coach Jessica Hoak here, and welcome to the How to Stop Giving Up on Yourself series. Today's topic is going to be holding yourself accountable. Now, through life, you've probably discovered that the only person that you can really 100% rely on is yourself. I mean, we do have friends and family, but for 100% reliability, yourself is the only one that you're going to be able to depend on. Now, that might sound a little depressing, but at the same time, it's reassuring because we should all only really be leaning on ourselves for our own accountability. We shouldn't put that responsibility on anybody else. And especially when people are not on the same path as you, if they're not into the self-growth or improvement situation, then they're not going to be on board. They're not going to understand what you're doing. So you might find a lot of negative vibes coming from people sometimes. Even if you think they'd be your biggest supporter, sometimes they tend to express their fear in what you're doing, and it could come off negatively towards you, and then it'll not help your progress whatsoever. So I want to give you a couple of tips on how to stay committed to your goals. Make you a priority. You guys, we always tend to put everybody else in front of us but ourselves, but making that time for yourself is going to be a huge difference from what you can accomplish if you aren't putting yourself first. You will find a million excuses and a million distractions to keep yourself from hitting your goals. So what you're going to have to do is create a plan of action and make sure to time and schedule everything out for you to be able to focus on what you need to do to get towards your goal. So if it's fitness, you need to figure out how long your workouts are going to be. If you're going to a gym, you need to factor in your commute and everything else. Time your everything that you need to do to get towards your goal for you, and then schedule everything else around it. So that way excuses will not get in the way of you hitting your goals. Number 2 is find a success buddy. Now, I'm not saying that they have to call you every day and make sure you're staying on track. What I'm saying is once a week, have a check-in time with your buddy, whether it be a coffee date. If they're not in state, do a Zoom or some type of video chat, and just discuss your ups and downs, what you're struggling with, and then you guys can just talk it out and see if you can find a resolution on how to make the next week better. And I think it's important to have someone to lean on. It really does help keep you going, and finding somebody who is on the same path as you is going to be huge. So if you tell your family or friends about what you're doing and someone says, wow, I'd love to do that too, or I have a goal I'm focusing on too, then you both can keep each other accountable. But again, don't rely on them to be contacting you every day to say, are you doing your tasks? Are you doing this? No, you have to be responsible for that. So what you'll need to do is just schedule a weekly call or maybe even a bi-weekly call and just hash it out and talk about what your successes are, what your downfalls were, and go from there. Another one is take ownership. It's easy to point fingers at everything and everybody else besides yourself when things aren't going right. We like to say, well, my kids got sick, or my husband got sick, or I had to do all this stuff for the family. I had to plan a birthday party. There was so many things going on. I could not make any time for myself. And that's bull. Okay, you don't have to spend hours on yourself a day to get towards your goals. You can spend 30 minutes, break it up between the days, between a day. You don't have to have a whole hour to yourself. You can do 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Just making time to focus on your goal is going to be huge, but you cannot be pointing fingers at everybody else. You have to look at yourself deep down and say, what can I do differently to be successful with what I'm doing? Because if stuff keeps getting in your way, it's because you're letting it happen. And then when you go to have that meeting with your success buddy, it's going to end up being like, and you can try to point fingers, but at the same time, you have to own up to what you're messing up on, or else you're not going to have any luck with hitting your goals. Again, if you've watched the previous series, you have to be so fed up with this continuous cycle of excuses to start taking ownership and getting stuff done. So that's all I have for you today. I know it's a little bit tough love, but at the same time, it is what is necessary for you to be successful. You have to want it, and you have to do the work. So it's going to be tough, but it is going to be so worth it for you. And I hope that these little tips and tricks throughout these past series have just helped give you a little push in the back saying, you can do it, because you can. If you need any support, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you some advice or to help you and be your coach and help you on your journey, but I can't help if you don't let me know. So feel free to email me at coachjessicahoak@gmail.com and let me know what you need help with. I'd be more than happy to be there to be your support system. But thank you so much for watching this video. You have a great day. God bless. Bye.